Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabe. I welcome you to chemistry, and today we are in ionic chemistry and qualitative analysis, and we are going to look at ions. Define the following terms. Define the following terms. We want to define the ion, then we shall define the cation, and then anion. Those are the terms that we want to define. Ion, this is a charged species which is formed when an atom gains or loses one or more electrons. It is a charged species, meaning that it acquires a charge. That is when an atom gains or loses one or more electrons. So if we have an atom and that atom loses or gains electrons, it becomes a charged species because it acquires either a negative or a positive charge because of the gaining or losing of electron. Therefore, it is no longer an atom. Now we refer to it as ion. Now the cation, this is a positively charged ion formed when an atom loses electron. So when an atom loses electrons, it becomes positively charged. This is because the number of protons now is more than the number of electrons. Therefore, the atom acquires a positive charge. And when it becomes positively charged, now we no longer call it an atom, now we call it ion. And that ion, which is positively charged, is the one that we call as a cation. We have an ion. An ion, this is a negatively charged ion, and it is formed when an atom gains electron. So when an atom gains electrons, it becomes negatively charged. This is because the number of electrons is now more than the number of protons. Therefore, the atom acquires a negative charge. And when it acquires a negative charge, now it is no longer called an atom. It is now called a negatively charged ion. And the negatively charged ion is what we call as an anion. Write the formula of the following ions. Write the formula of the following ions. We have different ions. We have the hydrogen carbonate. We have the carbonate. There is the chloride. We have the sulfate. We have hydrogen sulfate, hydroxide, sulfite, and nitrate. So we want to write the formula of those ions. We shall start with a carbonate, hydrogen carbonate. How do we write the hydrogen carbonate? The hydrogen carbonate is written as HCO3 minus. That is a hydrogen carbonate ion, HCO3 minus. A carbonate is written as CO4 2 minus. CO4 2 minus. That is the carbonate ion. The chloride ion is written as Cl minus. Cl minus. That is a chloride ion. We have a sulfate. A sulfate is SO4 2 minus. SO4 2 minus. That is the formula of the sulfate ion. A nitrate. A nitrate is NO3 minus. It is NO3 minus. That one is a nitrate ion. A sulfite. Sulfite is SO3 minus. SO3 minus. That one is what we call a sulfite ion. Hydroxide. The hydroxide is represented by OH minus. OH minus. That is a hydroxide ion. We have hydrogen sulfate. Hydrogen sulfate. That one is represented by HSO4 minus. HSO4 minus. That is a hydrogen sulfate. We have been looking at ionic chemistry and qualitative analysis. We have looked at the ions, we have looked at the cations, and we have looked at an ion. We have said that ions, these are charged species that are formed when an atom loses two or more, one or more electrons. Those are what we call ions. And if it is a charged species which has lost electrons, that one we call it an ion. And if it has gained electrons, that one we call it an anion. If it has lost electrons, we call it cation. We looked also at the different types of anions. We looked at the hydrogen sulfate ions, sulfide ions, nitrate ions, hydrogen carbonate ions, carbonate ions, hydroxide ions, and the chloride ions. Thank you very much for participating in qualitative analysis and ionic chemistry. Let's meet in another series.